Hey everyone, I am John Hallett, and this is the John Hallett Podcast. Today, we're joined by Jenny Jaeger, my lovely wife, and two French bulldogs, and some possible teenagers that are home from school on a snow day here in Colorado. How are you, Jenny?
I'm fine. But
You're
like
fine.
you said, the kids are home.
Yes, the kids are home, and hopefully they're quiet, and the French bulldogs aren't making too much noise. So, we are talking a little bit about fitness and specifically Project Fit at RMSDF. But first, I want to give the listeners a little bit more about you and why you started coaching fitness.
Yeah. So you asked me that before, like my fitness, what I like about fitness. And the fact is that I don't really have any life without fitness. Like I've always been into some type of fitness. When I was young, it was sports. As I got older, it was working out at the gym. It was doing programs, like you name it. I've probably done it. I've done jazzercise. I've done P90X, beach body, my own workouts, triathlons, marathons. And so it's always been a part of my life. And I don't really know what my life is without it. And, I think that's why I started coaching, because I think it is so important that everyone have an enjoyable experience with fitness and that it hopefully becomes part of their life. I like it to be enjoyable for them. I like it to be challenging. I like people to feel successful. I feel like so much of what we do in life can beat us down, whether it's our job, our commute, our families at times, our friends, can make us feel really stressed out. And it's nice to have something that I can feel successful about at the end of my day.
Yeah, that's always great. Helping people. I know one of the football moms that you got into the gym just said to me that she loved being at RMSDF because she felt like she could ask the coach questions where she'd been at previous group fitness, and she's like, I was made to feel kind of dumb, or I should just know that and shouldn't ask the question after it was, taught one time or something. And
Yeah.
I'm always thinking, I can get better at it. It's just an evolution of getting better at whatever it is, because a simple push up isn't all that simple, and a simple squat takes a lot of time to really dial in, and it's just not all that simple. And I think when the fitness instructors kind of say this is simple, it kind of can again beat people down a little bit.
Yeah. And I think I love the people that have been in our gym forever. Like we are super fortunate. We have these people that have been with us 10 years, 15 years, even 5 years. And that's awesome. And it's great. And I love that community, but I love new people. Like I love teaching them. I love helping them feel successful at something that they had no idea how to do, and really working with them and taking the time to be sure that they get it right. It fills me up a lot. And when I can see it on their face that they feel really good about themselves, then again, that fills me up too. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, it's always great to see somebody getting better. And, we've got a long-term member, she's really been dialing in her diet, and it was like awesome to see her doing handstand holds right next to you this morning in
Yeah.
the workout. Like that stuff is just awesome stuff. So great to see.
Yeah.
So can you tell the viewers a bit about the evolution of what we've done at RMSDF from being a former CrossFit affiliate to now Project Fit?
Yeah. As we've talked about, why we started CrossFit initially was because we just think it's a great program. It's a great strength and conditioning program. I know we still feel that way about CrossFit. However, we felt that our program was a little more diverse and had a lot more to offer than just CrossFit. We think that there's some great elements to it, but we kind of have worked to hone it in to be our own. And I think a big part of why it's been successful and why people like it is because we do have a little more downtime. You're still working hard. You're still getting a great workout, but you're not coming in and feeling like every day has to be a PR. Every day has to be crushing it. It's a little more balanced, I guess is the way I would describe it, compared to what we used to offer. So I think Project Fit, has a nice balance. It has a lot of movements that actually involve balance, which are things that we all need as we get older, but it incorporates a lot more strength, a lot more focus on the type of movement, the quality of movement, not always having to move fast, not always having to PR. And I think that really, helps people be successful for a longer term in our gym.
Yeah, I think so. That was, some people do really well with that competition based, where CrossFit kind of evolved to when we started. it wasn't so much about the competition, and it just really got so competitive. And I think, a lot of people just want to be in good shape, like what CrossFit started. And, that's where we've gone to Project Fit. And I, say it's strength and conditioning for health and longevity. Like, I want to be strong as I get old. When you're doing any competitive sport, you can only do that so long because you generally get injured because you're training at such a high level. And that's just not sustainable for kind of our average member that we were getting in and, really marketing towards. We weren't really marketing towards the person that wanted to do the competition. We're looking for people that wanted to just be in good shape. The average person is what sometimes I think used to tell me, don't say we're small or something like that when I was thinking of a marketing campaign. And I'm like, but we are small and we do focus on the quality of the people and not the cool kid gym. I mean, I go back to our former manager, Pam's now husband, Stephen, that was told that he just wanted to be in good shape. He was a firefighter and he went to a CrossFit gym up in Denver and they told him, oh, if you're not going to be on the competition side, if you're not interested in competing, then, go over there with the people that just want to look good. And that kind of is not, CrossFit was like strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
It wasn't, be all around fit. That's what drew me in, especially on the Krav Maga side, like way back when a bunch of us, I found this, like, this is a great conditioning program for Krav Maga. Wasn't interested in competing. I just wanted to be good for my Krav Maga self-defense and be well-rounded. And I had kind of missed that type of stuff for a bunch of years. I was always into fitness from, the fifth grade on. And there was a little period there where my entire focus was becoming a better Krav Maga instructor, and kind of my fitness side slacked off as far as like the weights and different things like that. I wasn't doing strength training like I am now.
I mean, I guess for me, it's like, I said I've done all of these different things and it's like, oh, well, when's she just going to switch to something different? But I think that the second part of that I didn't really elaborate on is I've been doing this now for, how old is my son? 14 years. And I'm never bored. I'm never bored. I'm always challenged. I can always push myself in a different way, whether it's trying to be faster on the cardio side or lift something heavier, lift something different, or do a different movement, or just mix my workup out. It's always different. And that's a lot of feedback I get from our customers too, and our clients, is that they feel like, oh, I never come in and say like, oh, that's boring. I mean, they come in and might say like, that sounds hard. But at the end, everybody is clapping and excited and happy that at least at my class time at 5:30 a.m., that was a good start to their day. So I think that's important. And I think, another testament to that is the woman who just joined with us, who our kids play football together, is that, it was snowing and it was 5 a.m. and her husband was like, you're going to the gym? Like, he was amazed that she was going to do that because this is a new endeavor for her. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I just really like it. And I think that level of engagement, and when people are excited about working out, like, again, that's just one more thing that fills me up. And I'm happy that I contribute that to their life.
Yeah, I think that, the workouts are always hard, but you always feel better after you work out, no matter how hard it is. It just is a good start to the day or a good end of the day, whatever it is. You just are so much better. And I think so many people are depressed because they're just caught up in the daily grind, and it's just such a good step away. It was, I can't remember her name, but remember in the last 6 months or so, she said, her kids said, Mom, you seem so much happier. Like, what's up? Like, she had some good workouts. She took some me time, and her kids noticed that she seemed happier because she did something. I was like, exercise just really can help a lot of people get out of that rut and feel better about themselves. And
I laughed because I was like, what, do they serve drinks at the end of that class?
No. That's only the 5:30 a.m. crowd drinking their Fit Aid.
Yep.
Well, can you tell us what your favorite exercise is and why?
Like one movement? Just
like
I have to pick one?
Yes. You have to pick. What's your favorite movement to do?
What do you think it is? I'm curious. We should do this is like the dating game.
The dating game.
Yeah, like how, or what is that one? The new newlywed game. What's your spouse's favorite movement?
I'm gonna guess thrusters.
Oh, you know me so well. See, I knew you'd get it right. Yeah, it is thrusters. And why do I like it so much? Because it's a full body movement, because it's hard, and I like feeling challenged. Like I know I say that, and I don't want people to be threatened by that statement or feel like, oh God, it's hard. I like to be challenged. And so it's challenging. When I say it's hard, it's like it's challenging, and I like the challenge. And so, but again, you could do it in any weight. You could do it without any weight. But I like it because it really gets the cardio side and the strength side. And I guess I am kind of good at it.
You're kind of good at it. Yeah. I think you do as much weight as I do a lot of the times. So yeah, thrusters is great. It's actually something, we're doing with Josh, our producer here.
You're doing thrusters with Josh?
I did. Josh filmed thrusters. Thrusters today for ClearSky.Training for, that's the online side of RMSDF. And we're really trying to build that out. So we have a good reference for our Project Fit members and our Krav Maga members that, hey, here's some exercise breakdowns that they can watch it and get more accustomed to it before it comes up in a class. So kind of did a quick, tutorial on that so members can see that. And, we're working on the base workouts. So we have a pre-coaching session if somebody really wants to look at that, because it's something that I see happen at the whiteboard that members start asking another member, and sometimes they get a little distracted. So we're going to do a pre-coaching. So if they're interested, especially in those base workouts that they have, that the night before, a week before, that they can kind of get accustomed and know what to expect. When I know a lot of people, that helps a lot of people. Some people just want to walk in and do the workout, but we're building that out. So speaking of base workouts, what's your favorite base workout?
Know which one is my favorite. Base 4 is my favorite because it's endurance, and I'm an endurance athlete. Don't give me anything short. I don't want to do anything that's under 4 minutes. I hate it. I'll do it, but I don't like it. And my body freaks out and doesn't know what to do, but give me something that's long, and my body likes that. So I just like it. Again, it's a challenge. It's the diversity of the movements. Just when you get tired of one, you're moving on to something different. And I think that's almost with any workout that we do. It's like, you're only going to hate it. You're only going to hate burpees for 20 seconds because then you're moving on to something else. So, that's my favorite workout because it's endurance.
Yeah. You did the burpees in 20 seconds?
Yeah. All 100. Wait, was it 50? It's 50. No, like a minute and a half.
So base 4 is what again?
800-meter run, 100 air squats, 75 kettlebell swings, 50 burpees, 25 Turkish get-ups, and a mile run.
What do you think the hardest part of that workout is?
The mile run.
The mile run.
Because you're in the Turkish get-ups and you're like, if I could just get through the Turkish get-ups, and then your mind is like, oh, I have to run another mile on the end. Like there's just, that's probably it's mental. It's all mental. You can do it. Anyone could do it. My gosh, you walk it if you have to. But it's just the mental challenge of, okay, just get through this and I'll be on something easier. Oh, wait a minute. It's a mile run. And so it's just the mental challenge. But again, that's the other side of why I love our programming, because it is sometimes a mental challenge. It's a mental game, and that's fun, right? It's a different way to challenge your brain. And it's a mental challenge that you feel like you can succeed at, not the mental challenge of driving in traffic. So. Yeah.
I think that's the one thing about the base workouts. It's like sometimes even that one, get out of your comfort zone, Jenny, and do base 1.
I do it. I just reluctantly.
You might do another workout before or after, but
because it's only 4 minutes. My gosh.
Yeah, but it's that sprint workout where it's like, do something that's uncomfortable, and sometimes 4 minutes is just enough. I think you're like a lot of people that feel like
I don't know what planet that is on.
You need to do even more. And I think that's something that happens in fitness. Yeah. People feel like, if I didn't work out for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, I didn't get a workout in.
Yeah.
When those sprint workouts, like if you do it right, it's a hard workout in 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh my God. There were times that I've done Fran and I've been like, oh, I'm fine. I just need a couple minutes rest. And then you go and try to do something else. And you're like, I can't believe I'm so exhausted from a 2 minute 50 workout.
Yeah. I feel like I got hit from truck doing that Fran workout, which is 21:15.9 of your favorite
thrusters.
movement.
And pull-ups are right up there on my favorite movements.
Yeah, pull-ups are one of my favorite. Great, if you're stranded on a desert island, hang from a branch, hopefully.
I was going to say, hopefully you hang from it.
Hopefully it doesn't break. So what would you do for a beginner on, say, base 4 where, 800 meters, a mile run, that can be a lot. What's something where, is typical in one of your classes or what we do at RMSDF for a beginner?
Yeah. The first thing I would do is probably put a little bit of a time cap on that workout for them. But additionally, on top of it, I would bring everything down, right? I would bring the run down, either in distance. I would also encourage them to run, walk if they need to. There's nothing wrong with that. You're going to go 400 meters. You're going to run. If you can't run, you're going to walk. If you got an injury or you have some reason that you can't run, then maybe we need to get you on the rower. Then we'll look at the reps for the different movements. I usually like to watch how someone moves first before I make a decision about how I'm going to scale the movements. I want to see how they do their squats. I want to see them with a light kettlebell and see how they can do their kettlebell swings, as well as Turkish get-ups. We're probably not going to do any weight at all. I just want them working the form of a proper Turkish get-up, and probably not going to do 25 of them. And then again, same thing on the flip side. We get to that mile run. Maybe we can't even do 800. Maybe we need to start at 400 and just do 400 on the front and 400 on the back. So I really try to individualize it to that person that's in my class, because everybody's starting from a different place. But if they were truly beginner, then I would probably go down to 400 on either side, walking or running, bring those reps way down, having them work with very light to no weight on the kettlebell swings and on the Turkish get-ups.
Yeah, I think that's something that we really strive for with Project Fit of it's okay to scale it, bring that weight down, where so many CrossFit workouts, people feel like if they're not doing it RX'd as prescribed, that they're not doing it right. And that would beat a lot of people down. Yeah. And they get discouraged. And that's something I didn't like about it, because I hate to see people discouraged, because you're like, it's just a weight. It's just a number. If you have to bring the reps down, bring the reps down. But that's like a really hard thing for people. And I think, getting people over that. And it's about you.
Well, and
the competition for you.
Even with people that have been in the gym, there's a mental thing when it's like written up or posted somewhere that like what is written is gospel. And it's like really trying to step away from that. I mean, I try to offer some variations if I'm writing something up on a board, because once it's written, it's like, shall it be so, And so I think people need to kind of step outside of that. And that's where having a good coach comes into play, and having a good relationship with your coach, and not feeling like you're going to be, made to feel stupid if you ask for questions. Or half the time I encourage people, if you need scales, if you have this issue, please don't do this movement, come and see me. So I'm really trying to keep the dialogue open with everyone in the class, because I don't know, maybe somebody was in a skiing accident that weekend and tweaked their ankle or their back, and I don't know about it. I don't want to make it worse, but that communication is really important as well.
Yeah. I find sometimes students gravitate and they'll start asking somebody else. I'm like, ask me. You're paying me to coach you. Why are you asking them? And a lot of times, some of our members that have been around for like 10 years, they can be great. But sometimes if they don't have any coaching experience, they're kind of giving them the wrong tip.
They could be. But I think it comes from a place of I don't want to ask a stupid question. It's like when you go back to like elementary school and you're in the class and you're like, that one kid raises his hand, but everyone else is like, I'm not going to ask. Or they feel like, maybe it was already said and I missed it, so I don't want to sound stupid because they already said that. And it comes with so many mental insecurities that people have about what I call confrontation, which is just asking simple questions.
Yeah, it kind of actually surprises me on the fitness side, because on the Krav Maga side, our women ask more questions.
That's interesting.
Than they do in fitness. They'll tend to wave the coach over more often than ask the woman closest to them, is what happens in fitness more. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that is. I don't know.
So I want you guys to hold on one quick second here for a word from our from our sponsors.
Making the change we want is the hardest choice we have to make. There is no time like now to get into shape and make health your priority. Stop hesitating and join ClearSky.Training now. We utilize proven and effective regimens created by our in-house team of health professionals to get you stronger, quicker, and happier. To join, simply go to ClearSky.Training and sign up for one of our convenient classes. We love to work with all fitness levels from beginners to advanced. So make the choice, make the change, and join ClearSky.Training today.
Welcome back, everyone. Again, I've got Jenny Jaeger here with she's our head Project Fit coach here at RMSDF joining us. Jenny, I wanted to ask you, what advice can you give people on being a working mom, teenagers, step teenagers? How do you manage all that and get it all done and kind of mentoring? Like what I always say, I try to lead by example to my kids and your kids of like, this is the lifestyle we're living. Mm-hmm. Can you give, but that's not always so easy for people that haven't lived that lifestyle. Like the two of us have been doing, fitness has been a part of our life since like elementary school.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that, so obviously I am the head coach, but I also do human resource consulting, a lot of leadership development training. And what I always do with my leadership development people is tell them like everything you do should be with intention. Everything in your life needs to be intentional. And when you're leading people, that's particularly important. But on a personal level, I mean, how do I make it all work? Well, first of all, I keep boundaries, right? I don't try to do everything. Sure. I'd love to also become certified in yoga and teach yoga. I'd also like to spend 40 days a year on snowboarding on the mountain. And so you just have to kind of live in the season of your life, but you have to be intentional and say, what can I truly do? And what that is right now is being a wife, being a working mom to teenagers, and maintaining my level of fitness. And so along those lines, I have to schedule it. I have to be committed to my schedule. Every morning I wake up at 5 a.m. Sometimes, more often than not, the first thing that goes through my head is, oh my God, why am I getting up this early? But I do it, right? You just have to just do it. Just work past that. But the same thing comes even when I look at my diet, like with intermittent fasting, when I'm fasting, some days I have days where I'm like, oh God, I just feel so hungry today. And so I just push through it for a little bit longer. And the same thing with working out. I mean, maybe there is a day that you need to say, I really need to back off today. But for the most part, you just have to schedule it as part of your life. And the same thing comes with working, and the same thing comes with being a mom, like being present and being available. And I've just structured my life in a way that I can do that now, right? I put parameters around my work schedule so that I can be present as a mom. I think we put parameters around our relationships so that we can devote time for each other. But it's the same thing with fitness and ensuring that you are making a commitment to it, even if you don't quite feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say, I'm always tired when the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
I'm like, people are like, I'm tired. I'm like, just get up.
Yeah.
You're going to feel better. I said I would never teach at that hour, and I now do. And it's actually my favorite class. And when I taught for over a decade before I started teaching at that hour, I always would tell people, nope, we don't offer classes that early.
I believe I started teaching that class because you were like, I'm not going to.
Yes. But now it's my favorite one. I'm like, once you get in that routine, and yeah, you're gonna want to just stay in bed. I mean, like the alarm goes off at 7 o'clock. Most of you want to just stay in bed. It's the same thing at 5 a.m. to get it into a class at 5:30, or our 6 a.m. class on the Krav Maga side.
Yeah.
I always tell people they're the most committed people in the gym. I have people today. And they said, how many people came in the snow?
Yeah.
And it's generally our biggest class of the day.
Yeah.
Because they are really dedicated to their workout, and they put it in the calendar and nothing gets in the way.
Right.
At 5:30 in the morning, typically.
Yeah.
Besides, I hit snooze, which I'm like, there's no such thing as snooze. Stop hitting snooze.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Don't even do it.
Exactly.
So,
And I always say, like, if you are kind of in that, I'm too tired or I can't get up at that time. Well, okay, maybe you should try a different time that's going to work for you, number one, but why not just give it a shot? Like, why not try it? Try it for a week or two. And if it truly does not work for you, if it truly is, I thought I would get past this feeling so exhausted, it's impeding my work, it's impeding the rest of my day. Okay, then maybe you should try a different time because that's just not working for you. But you're not going to know if you're just going to kind of rest on the laurel of, oh, I'm tired. Yeah, we're all tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired for the first minute I'm awake, sometimes a little bit longer.
Yeah. It took me longer than a week to get adjusted to doing that.
Yeah.
But, you're faster than I am, so it probably just took you a week.
Probably. Yeah. Not even.
Not even. Can you kind of break down or give the listeners some tips on how you handled nutrition through the years with the kids from kind of that elementary school age to now teenagers, and how you kind of handle nutrition?
Yeah. So, well, one time one of my friends was over and we were getting something out of the pantry and she goes, "Oh my God, that does not look like a paleo pantry. What the heck do you have in there?" And I'm like, "Well, I have young children." And she's like, "And you feed them that?" And I was like, "Well, no, not all the time." I mean, my approach with my kids has always been trying to teach moderation. Like, I eat pretty strict. I think you eat pretty strict, but I don't want my kids to feel so deprived all the time that they can't handle life as an adult, right? Like, they're going to get a job somewhere that someone's going to bring donuts on Monday and it's going to be Taco Tuesday and it's going to be hump day happy hour. And then it's going to be Thursday. Yeah, we're going to happy hour again. And then Friday, we have more donuts in the office. I mean, every day there's going to be something in the office or something at the workplace or a social event that you are going to have bad choices of food put in front of you. And if you don't learn how to make those choices and how to decide for yourself when you want to eat something bad and when you don't, then I'm not setting you up for any kind of success. And so my mantra, I guess, has always tried to be, whether it's fitness with the kids or whether it's nutrition, is be the example, show them what healthy looks like, but also teach them that these things are going to always be around in your life. You have to make choices about whether or not you want to eat them. How did it make you feel? Did it make you crash? Did it make you grumpy? Did it hurt your stomach? Did it make you feel great? And you have to learn to live your life in that way. So I guess that's kind of been my nutrition with my kids. There's a lot of people that disagree with me. They're like, no, they shouldn't be getting any of those things. I also grew up with friends that never, ever, ever were allowed to have soda or any kind of refined sugar in their house. And when they came to my house, they would eat an entire box of cereal. If we had soda, then it was any soda. They would eat anything that was just terrible and bad for them. And so I'm not saying there's a right way to do it, but I do think, my son comes in today and makes this sweet potato dish, roasts some sweet potatoes in the oven with some seasoning and makes himself a steak. So I think I'm doing something right. And I'm sure there's lots of different ways to do it right. But I think I'm seeing it now play out with my kids and paying attention to what they put in their mouth, when they eat, what they want to eat, and making good choices. So I think that was a good thing for my family.
Yeah, I think, there's so many ways to parent and do exercise and do whatever. But I do think lead by example is one of the biggest and best things you can possibly do. It was a, marketing campaign that we just did or had a little short video on. Lead by example, parents. You want your kids to be healthy. You got to lead by example. You can't be eating chips and having terrible food and tell your kids to eat right and eat their broccoli and they should be doing exercise or get into a sport. I think that's the best way. I hate to use the word best, but I think it is.
When the kids were little, people used to say to me like, well, why aren't they in your class? Why aren't they doing Krav Maga? Why aren't they doing this and that? And I was like, because we will not push them into one thing. They need to do an activity, but we are not going to be the driver of that activity. And it's sometimes there's a lot of dynamics to that. Some of it is having your parent be your coach isn't always, or be your teacher isn't always the best for every kid. Some kids it's great, some kids it's not. But additionally, I think it was encouraging them to always be active, but not dictating what that activity needed to be. And now I have a 13-year-old who asked me if I can take him to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. And I have a 16-year-old who is either at the gym at 5:36 in the morning or at 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, and cares a lot. They both care a lot about their fitness and their life. And I don't attribute that to pigeonholing them into any one thing, but in modeling it for them and then encouraging them that being fit and being active it's fun and it makes you feel good.
Yeah, definitely. I think you do a good job at that.
Oh, thanks, honey.
It's always, I mean, it's really hard to have your kid in your program. I think, I see a lot of coaches struggle with that of like, oh, I'm going to coach my kid, and it's not always the easiest thing to do. And, as we know, sometimes they listen to somebody else a lot more than their parents on any given thing. I look back, way back when I used to try to give my little brother advice, and he's 8 years younger than me. And then my parents hire my lifting partner, who was a private, personal instructor, personal trainer. They hear him and he starts listening to him, and I'm like, couldn't you guys pay me?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh, I certainly have like called or texted coaches and been like, hey, so I've been talking to Ethan about this. And if you could just reinforce that message, and then he'll come home and he'll be like, hey, guess what Thomas said today? And I'm like, oh, wow, that's so weird.
How do you hear their voice? But,
yeah.
That's why, having a coach is worth it, especially the teenagers are hard at that age to have them get some other influence. I think is always a good thing. And it's always great it's one thing when I teach on the Krav Maga side that I tell the kids, I'm like, I hope you just be healthy and be fit for life. Like if you don't continue with Krav Maga, that you kind of get like, I should be in shape because it's perishable and you're going to rot just like that banana over there that you haven't eaten.
Oh yeah, I'm not eating that one.
It's past its
due. It's past.
It's banana bread. It's paleo banana bread next.
It is.
So
it is.
Can you tell us who influenced you, like celebrity, athlete, who was like a really big influence on your fitness, like that you admire and try to emulate?
Gosh, on my fitness side.
On the fitness side, who inspires you? Did you have anybody that, you're like, wow, like you did marathons and tried, like you did that stuff. Was there something that sparked that? Anything in fitness that you can think back that really just sparked you to be that way?
Well, okay. So a couple things, like if I go way back, like I was a gymnast first off, like when I was young, up until I was like 13, but probably then it was like Mary Lou Retton, right? Because she was such a phenomenal gymnast in the Olympics. I had her picture everywhere. I thought she was amazing. But then I was a swimmer also, and I swam in high school. And I think there was a girl named Shelly, and she had state records, and I was a butterfly swimmer, and she was too. And she had all these state records, and her butterfly was just beautiful. I mean, she was so graceful and awesome and fast, and she was really great. So I think she was really inspiring to me, kind of more on a local level, but somebody that I would train with all the time. And so that was pretty inspiring. I mean, I really feel like my parents set the example for me when it came to fitness. So like just looking at watching them and what they were able to do. And I think, I grew up in a pretty fit area where most people were very able-bodied and took good care of themselves. But even seeing like now my mom, I mean, she just met with somebody the other day out at our house, and she said something like, well, I'm 74 years old, and they like their jaw fell on the floor and they were like, what are you even talking about? And so I think watching her kind of get older and, still maintain really sharp mentally, but also physically, has just kept herself in shape her whole life. And I think that that's probably another inspiration, and probably one that I didn't even really correlate as an inspiration, just because it was the thing of this is just what you do. You take care of yourself, you eat well, you're active, you have interests that are physical. And so I think that's just where that is. Any like celebrities that I don't really know. I mean, I think there's been definitely stories that I've heard over the years that are inspirational. But nothing, I guess nobody celebrity wise I can like think of that's inspirational.
I was just giving, Josh and I were giving Jamie a hard time. It was really Josh. He was going to call HR. Actually, you should expect a call from Jamie because we were playing around with titles. And, Josh was like, gosh, just any of these videos with girls and they're just getting consumed millions of views. And I'm like, yeah, my wife is constantly on Instagram with watching workouts trying to watch workout videos to get inspiration for a workout. And I'm like, the guy's got no shirt on. I'm like, so this is for work and for finding a workout. If I were watching a similar video, I think I would get a hard time if I were doing that.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'd just make some comment like, I wonder why you picked that video.
Yeah. Some subtle girl comment. But Josh titled the video today, "Hot Girl Kicks Guy in the Groin" or something.
That kind of sounds like it belongs on a different website.
Maybe, but that's your brain. But it got a bunch of hits today, and Jamie's like, great. And she's like, oh, people are going to say, I'm like, who cares? You're right. They're saying dumb stuff constantly on the internet. Driving Reed today, he was saying, there's people commenting on this video of like the best way to lose weight is to exercise and eat right. And there's people arguing about that. I'm like, people will say the dumbest things. I'm like, Jamie, don't worry about what people say on the internet. Like, who cares? She's like, they're going to say that's not a hot girl. I'm like, well, you can call HR, which is you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who is it? Rogan that says he never reads the comments.
Yeah. Being like when we get a tenth of the way that way, I guess I won't read the comments. Somebody's got to read the comments now, and I think I'm probably the best one to read the comments.
Oh, no, you by far are, because I'm certainly not that person.
Yeah, you'll get your feelings hurt, Jamie. I'll get upset. And, Josh doesn't have enough Krav Maga experience to comment back. It's like people just get tied to things. It's so amazing on the internet. I'm like, it's one technique, guy. It's one tool.
But people get tied to anything. I mean, the same thing with nutrition. I mean, there's still people that are like, well, aren't I think I'm supposed to eat a low fat diet. Are we still doing that? And I'm like, I think Weight Watchers dropped that in 85, but if you're still doing that, that's fine. I mean, I think it's like people get very tied to an idea. And so and they get tied to right and wrong, right? Sometimes it's not black and white, it's gray, right? It depends on the scenario. It depends on this. And I would think in your demo videos, you're definitely doing things that are like, a scenario. So in this scenario, I'm demonstrating this and it doesn't apply. It's not in a vacuum. It doesn't apply equally to every scenario. And so I think it's people just kind of being black and white about things as well.
Yeah. That is a tough place. It's definitely something that I wish would go away sometimes.
Yeah, but I go back to it's just how we're wired. Like the brain is pattern seeking. We put things in files. We put things in files by association. And so we have all these little files in our brain of different things and where they fit and where they belong. So that creates these ideas of like right and wrong, rather than there might just be a different way that still gets you to the same endpoint that somebody else has in a different file in their brain. Right. So I think it's hard for the mind to be really fluid and not want to compartmentalize things.
Yeah, that's tough. Do you have any goals for 2023 that you're looking at for your fitness? That is a loud bulldog. That was not Jenny.
That was my goal. If I can learn to roar.
Yeah. Sound like Leo.
Fitness goals, I think are, obviously being over 45 now is to continue to maintain the current weight that I am moving, meaning not my body weight, but the weights I'm moving in the gym, is to just maintain that. I think that, maintaining muscle mass is an incredible uphill battle over 40. And obviously I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I've listened to enough to know that, I'm going to have this uphill battle, especially being a female. And so I think one of my biggest goals is just to continue to maintain my times, the weight that I'm able to move, the amount that I'm working out, is really important to me. And I think the other goal would be to focus a little more on my flexibility and really take care to, restore my body.
Yeah. What are you doing for that?
I'm trying to do some yoga.
Yeah,
Again,
so-
back to that thing of like being intentional and not biting off too much right now. That's like kind of pushing the envelope on biting too much. I haven't figured out a way to make it fit in my schedule, but I know that it needs to fit. So I guess that would be a goal, is figuring out what can I drop off, or what can I restructure, or what am I wasting my time on that I could be making this fit in my
Yeah,
life.
even 5 minutes of mobility yoga is better than nothing at the end of the day. You
I
just
thought you were going to say maybe don't spend 5 minutes playing Candy Crush.
Yeah. Well, I was trying not to bring that up, that you have a Candy Crush addiction.
It's better than a
Definitely.
candy addiction.
It is better than a candy addiction, that's for sure.
And I really just need a little mental break sometimes. So I do that. But I don't think it's a mental break. I think it's like doing something weird to my brain and sucking me in and making me play longer.
Definitely the algorithm has you. The algorithm has you. And it just gets you. Do you have notifications on your phone for that?
No. I don't have notifications on my phone for anything except for my calendar, which I typically live by. I do not turn on notifications for anything. I don't want them for Facebook, Instagram. I don't want them any of my social medias. I don't even look at Facebook. I put it on a whole different page.
Yeah. Well, keep the notifications for band, because if you remember an RMSDF.
Oh, you know what? I do get those notifications.
That you're going to miss the snow update because you didn't have the notifications on there.
Well, then I guess there won't be an instructor, so everyone will just have to go home.
Yeah.
Be closed anyway.
So, do you have a fitness celebrity crush that I don't know about?
Not that you don't know about. You already know about them.
We just had a.
And he's not even a fitness celebrity crush. He's an actor.
Just a celebrity.
Yeah.
But you don't like him anymore.
Well, which one? I don't like one of them anymore.
You know one of them.
I don't.
Well, like
like
you don't
we
like
should
Walter
say-
anymore.
What? Yeah, but we're talking about that on here.
Yeah, you can. I don't.
Yeah, I don't really like him anymore. But no, I like Hemsworth.
Yeah.
I guess he's a fitness guy now. He's got some fitness program
Yeah.
people can do, and
Yeah,
and honestly, like his fitness program, I think is really nice for beginners as well. I mean, I'm not encouraging anyone to go sign up with his program and not ours, but I mean, I think the mindset of like doing things that are attainable, like he's trying to do that for people, and I think that's great.
Are you talking about his Disney Plus show?
No, not that show. That show's awesome. That show's really interesting about longevity.
Yeah.
That show's great. I think. What is that called? No
Yeah.
Limits or Limitless?
Limitless.
Limitless.
Yeah.
That's
on Disney
great.
Plus. Yeah,
It's
that's
really
a good
interesting. A
little
lot of
series.
really good doctors on there too, talking about longevity, and I think it's interesting. No, he's got like a little fitness thing. I don't know.
is
I've
it?
seen it come on Instagram, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing, which I'm always saying. Like, there's a gazillion things you can do online, but
Yeah.
in that community, in a small town, I think that's so key to your success. Because I'm like, get out of the house, stop doing stuff in front of a mirror and all by yourself. There, get out and join a community, get a coach. You're gonna have more motivation. But just getting out of the house, all this stuff, doing it at home.
yeah.
I'd only do that, as a supplement.
When you have 12
because
inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
No, and I think back to the whole thing of those things are great for those at home things are great as a supplement, right? You had an early meeting, you couldn't get to the gym in time, so you supplemented by doing this workout at 7:00 at night at your house, and there definitely keeps you on track and keeps you going. I think the thing that is important about getting in front of people and being a part of a community is back to the longevity thing, is keeping those pathways open in your brain is a big part of that is having connection with other people and having real personal live connection with other people. And that's the importance of going to the gym. I know days that I work from home all day, I love it and I hate it. I love it because I can buckle down and get a ton done, but I hate it because I can tell that I have not connected with anybody. Like I don't feel fulfilled at all. Like something is missing. And I think it's because I've just been at home, me and my computer and my dogs.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to end. I've got some more for you at another time. I think we're, just about at that 45-minute mark. I think it's a good place to wrap it up and let the dogs out and move on with the day. But I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Finally,
I know you're quite mad. You were not mad.
And now I'm hearing about these videos that you're making about the pre-workouts for the bases. And I'm like, oh, I haven't been invited to do any of those.
Nope, you have not. You have other stuff. You need to buckle down.
Maybe I need to be invited to the gym so I can have some connection.
You're there. Like, I have a meeting.
No, I just need to schedule it.
Yeah, it's tough, but you told me, get them done.
Yeah.
Get them done.
Okay.
So thanks for joining us again, guys. This has been the John Hallett podcast. We will have you back soon. This will air on YouTube on Sunday, and the audio on Spotify and Apple and every other listening device out there comes out on Thursday. So we will hear back from you guys, and maybe we'll have Jenny back next Thursday.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys.